Yep. Yeah, and I wanna talk to somebody about that.
You're all set.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Harrison Township Planning Commission meeting. Today is June 18th, 2015. I call the meeting to order at 7:05. You'll notice we're short 2 members this evening. It won't affect any of our decisions. But we are short a secretary, so I'm going to ask Mr. Batcha to please act as secretary. Roll call, please, Mr. Batcha.
Member McDougall? Present. Member Tominello?
Here.
Member Garvin?
Here.
Member Olgiati?
Excused absent.
Member Blum?
Excused absent.
Member Batcha here. Chairman Murray?
Present. Thank you. May I have approval of the agenda as presented, please?
Madam Chair, I'll move to approve the June 18th, 2015 agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mr. McDougall. May I have a second, please?
Support?
Mr. Batcha. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. May I have approval of our minutes from April 16th, 2015? And we don't have a copy in front of us. We did receive, however, a copy through email. I did review, and I didn't see anything. You have an extra copy just in case? Of course, I've been known to miss a typo and a misspelling on occasion. So if anybody has any changes to the minutes from our April 16th, 2015 meeting, please let that be known now.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the May meeting.
Yes, April.
April meeting as presented.
Thank you, Mr. McDougall. May I have a second on the approval of the minutes from our April 16th, 2015 meeting?
Support.
Mr. Tominello, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're going to drop right down into our public hearings this evening. Mr. Batcha, would you please read the first case?
Case number 03-15-SLU, Christopher Cieslak, Christopher's Complete Maintenance, 42489 Irwin Drive, Harrison Township, Michigan, 48045 M1. Requesting outdoor storage for trucks and trailers used for landscaping and cement business, and temporary tarp system installed for supplies.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. We were expecting to receive an updated site plan, as we discussed at our last meeting, and nothing was turned into the township, so.
I believe my architect has been in contact with Patrick,
That's correct.
and as far as Stacy said that everything was fine, is that?
That's not what I had told Stacy, no. I had indicated to your architect that improvements need to be made to bring it
Well-
up to zoning ordinance requirements, and it's kind of
The
where
improvements have been made. I mean, the parking lot, we just spent $1,500 on stone, you know, we re-stone, I got pictures right here for the parking lot. We got the fence repaired. As far as the dumpster, we use it just basically for trash, so I mean, if need be to get this cleared and approved or whatever, we could just have the dumpster taken away. Then we just use it, we get dumped like every other week, twice a month, so we can just haul that out of there, get it taken away.
Mr. Maher, were any plans presented to you, or anything indicating any of the changes that we had requested from our last meeting?
No,
when
I
you
had,
met with the architect?
you know, again, I met with the applicant's architect. We talked about the fact that it needed to be brought up to, you know, to the code, and
And left it at the, okay.
we you
And
know,
so really the
talked
only,
about the submittal standards of the ordinance and just making sure that everything was addressed, and she said that's basically what they're going to address at this point, so. And the applicant, I guess, just indicated that with regard to the dumpster, he's willing to remove that, but we also had talked about that as well, but we typically require a dumpster on site.
yeah. I'm not sure if we have any other, Mr. Maples, are there any outstanding, ordinance issues on that property?
I don't believe so. I haven't checked. Like we said, we never got a updated submittal of site plan or anything. I wasn't sure that he was gonna come in, so I don't have any of that information really ready right at this moment. But from our last conversation, I believe it was 2 months ago, I don't think there was anything other than was it the occupancy permit?
Correct.
But, so we can't go further with that until it's approved here.
Okay. And the last thing we were waiting for was an updated site plan with all indications that the items from the planner's April 16th letter were addressed. And I think you probably still have a copy of the planner's letter from April, indicating the plan states that a 1 inch equals 40-foot scale, but a 1 inch 20-foot, but is 1 foot and 20 inch, that needed to be corrected. Parking and driveways and drive aisles must be labeled on the plan, including dimensions. And how will the applicant gain access to the storage area? Paving is required for parking and storage areas. What will be stored in this area will be fenced in. Parking calculations shall be provided on the plan. A 5-foot sidewalk is required. A dumpster and enclosure meeting the zoning ordinance standards is required. The existing fence is in major disrepair and must be repaired or replaced. I think you indicated that you did. The commission may wish to require additional landscaping on the site. These items are the items that we talked about last month, and we were really looking for an updated site plan.
I talked to the architect.
Do you want to go ahead and come up, please? And let us know who you are. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Erica Barnhart. I work for Mr. Cieslak. And I spoke to the architect 2 days ago and asked her how everything was going, because at the time of our last meeting, it was going to be between Patrick and her regarding the site plan, what we need to do. So I talked to her, and she said that they had went over everything in the letter of what we need to do, the fence, the paving, and the dumpster. And I said, well, are we required to have a new site plan? And she said, no. And I had her on my text. I've texted her every single day for the last...
Is she present tonight?
No, she's out of town. I asked her if she could come. She's out of town. I text her all the time and talk to her about getting this done so we can get this finalized, and she said there's no need for a new site plan.
I'm not sure why she would infer that. I know for a fact Patrick would not state that, since that's not true.
Right.
If that's a misunderstanding, then we need to get that rectified, because we really do need a site plan. In order to make this decision, we need to see it officially on paper. So, that being said, we have two options. We table again, or we deny. And I personally, I don't think we want to go in that direction. If there's truly been a misunderstanding, then are you prepared to work with your architect to create an official site plan with all of the designated items?
Because I'm ready to get a new architect. I already, like I said, we got thousands of dollars in this. All we want to do is run business.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
I mean, I understand, grandfathered in. It's just frustrating because I drive up and down Irwin, I drive up and down Joy Boulevard, and I don't even know if that's Mount Clemens or Harrison Township, whatever, but, I mean, there's, open dumpsters, or there's junk in lots, there's dirt lots. I mean, we're spending all this money trying to get this, so we can just run business out of there, and it's just frustrating as, like I said, with all this money invested. And again, it's not your fault, obviously, it's the architect I hired, that's the
they're
main issue here. I mean,
clearly
we're trying, my partner and I are trying, like I said, we just had stone delivered, we spread it all, you know, two gravel trains of stone delivered, I got pictures, we got the fence repaired, you know, were the two main things, I think.
Well, that's good. That's definitely moving in the
It's a
right,
start,
that's
right,
moving in the
yeah,
right direction. I do
This is
believe
the
that the
rest.
architect has probably provided, Sabrina maybe, someone was provided with a copy of the requirements, correct? I mean, that comes with when they fill out the initial, okay, so, I would defer to, the initial, application and all of the paperwork that's attached to that. And with that, I will take a motion, please, board.
Well, I think I made a comment at the last meeting. This has been dangling along. We keep kicking the can down the road, and this commission has got an obligation to the public in this community to see that the ordinances are complied with. And we've been kicking the can down the road a long time with you. And I don't, frankly, from my position here, my perspective, I don't care if you got a problem with your architect, that's your problem, that's not
I
the
agree.
community's problem.
I agree.
And I'm gonna say very bluntly, if this commission tables it tonight, and that is still in my, question in my mind, I expect to see something here next month, and I don't care what it takes to get it here.
Sounds good.
So, Madam Chair, our submittal requirements for site plan, SLU is, are spelled out, you know, in our ordinance. So with that said, I will, postpone the public hearing and table case 0315 SLU, till the July 16th, 2015 meeting, to allow the applicant time to complete the site plan requirements per, our ordinance and requirements.
Thank you, Mr. Tabanello. Do I have a second, please?
Support.
Mr. Batcha, discussion on the motion.
I'm not sure in my recollection that this is technically a public hearing.
Okay, well,
It's,
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought we-
well, it
yeah.
is, it's an SLU, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. We've never gotten the documentation to run a hearing.
That's correct.
So, yeah, we're just that much further behind.
okay. Any other discussion on the motion? Okay, roll call, please, Mr. Batcha.
Member Tominello?
yes.
Member Batcha, yes. Member McDougal?
Yes,
Member Garvin?
Yes.
Chairman Murray?
Yes. Okay, you are tabled once again to our July 16th meeting. If you need an extra copy of the specifications, the requirements, please get with the recording secretary, and you can pick a copy of those up any day that the office is open. If you have any questions, feel free to send those to her, and she will pass them along. With that, we hope that we will see you again in July
Well,
with
yeah, like I said, I
a
wanna,
complete set of plans.
I consider July 16th D-Day. I wanna.
Okay,
put
there you
this
go.
Put this to rest. I mean, it's frustrating for me, it's frustrating for
Yeah.
you guys, I'm sure, so I'm sorry, and, like I said, I paid her thousands of dollars to do the site plan, she just ain't doing her job.
Well, put that frustration to work for you.
I will.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, no new business and no correspondence that I'm aware of. Comments from the planner. Mr. Maher, we have 2 items this evening. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I jumped right past. Forgive me. Unfinished business. Mr. Batcha, please read our next case. Gosh, sorry, everyone. Today's my
Heart attack
4th
time.
Monday this week.
heart attack time.
Gosh.
Case number 08-15-RZ. The Kroger Company of Michigan, 40393 Grand River, Novi, Michigan. Properties are 27147 Crocker, zoned R1C, 27177 Crocker, currently zoned as R1C, 27217 Crocker, currently zoned as R1C. Applicants applying for rezoning of all 3 properties to B3 for a proposed fuel station.
Thank you, Mr. Batcha. Remember, we opened a public hearing last week, and we heard from the applicant, and we heard from several residents. It was our job over the past month to review all the information, and taking into consideration our ordinance, our master plan, our downtown development authority, and make a decision. So with that being said, I will say that we did receive a letter from our planner dated June 16th that indicates the zoning designations, the surrounding zoning designations, and the surrounding land use, and then indicating a recommendation. Is the applicant present? Hi, want to come up? Thank you. The property in question is currently developed as single-family housing. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the previous terms of the master plan. However, the waterfront redevelopment plan was adopted as an amendment to the master plan and designates this location as single-family residential. The waterfront redevelopment plan took a special view of this area in determining the proper land use for this location. The surrounding land uses are a mixture of residential and commercial. The areas across the street and to the southeast are commercial uses. However, the properties directly behind the parcels in question are single-family residential. Therefore, the single-family residential is a compatible zoning designation at this particular location. Based on these recommendations, it is our planners, or based on this information, it is our planners' recommendation that we deny the rezoning request. At this time, conversation from the board?
No, Madam Chair, I'll go ahead and make a motion, based on the aforementioned, conditions, and recommend denial of this rezoning request.
Mr. Tominello makes a motion to deny the rezoning of the 3 parcels. Do I have a second?
Support?
Mr. Batcha. Discussion on the motion? Roll call, please, Mr. Batcha.
Member Tominello?
Yes.
Member Batcha, yes. Member McDougal?
Yes.
Member Garvin?
Yes.
Chairman Murray?
Yes. Okay, the
Thank
item
you.
is denied. Thank you. Okay, now, let's move on to no new business, no correspondence, comments from the planner. Mr. Maher, we have 2 items up this evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have permission for temporary installation of a tent for the sale of fireworks by Gasper Rosalino, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Lake Point Square Shopping Plaza at 35442 Jefferson and Shook. This is basically the same request, I believe, that we had last year, and we have no objections to approval of this.
And there were no ordinance issues last year for this applicant, Mr. Maples?
I believe this wasn't up last year. I think the only 2 that were up last year were the one at Crocker and Jefferson, and the other one at the Buscemi's
Yeah,
down on
on Jefferson
Jefferson. I
and,
think
yeah,
this one was
South
exempt last year.
Oh.
I think it was the year before.
2 years ago, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And as far as I recall, 2 years ago, I wasn't the building official,
But nothing on
but
record
from looking
for,
back at records from remembering last year, I did investigate it, and I don't think there was any problems at that time.
all right, that's good to know. Thank you. Any discussion or a motion,
No, Madam
please?
Chair, when we look at these, I believe we make a recommendation to the Board of Trustees
Yes, we do.
relative to this, and what we are looking for, if this is consistent with the current zoning in that area. So with that said, I'll go ahead and I will make a motion to actually recommend to the Board of Trustees that permission for the temporary installation of a tent for the sale of fireworks at 35442 Jefferson and Shook. That's it.
Okay, we have a motion to recommend. Do I have a second, please?
Support?
Mr. Batcha. Discussion on the motion.
Just a comment question. I think Mr. Maples made a comment about the structural issues with these tents. There's been some that have had some rather dangerous consequences in windstorms and so forth that seem to be prevalent this time of year. around here. Now, am I correct that that is a code enforcement issue after the tent is up, and that's in the department, you're just making us aware of it, or is this something that you
Yes,
feel we should be aware of, or we're making a decision based on?
No, I think by state law, a lot of these things are approvable, but just make sure that the applicant knows that a building permit is required for us to check any temporary structure and any temporary use. They'll be treated like any other client that comes in, and we will be checking the tents to make sure they have the proper anchorage and stuff so that they don't blow away or turn over like some did last year. Besides that, if they come through me and get the permits, we'll do all the inspections on the permits, make sure everything's sound and installed properly.
And if not, if they don't come
If-
through for permits, then
if
the
they don't-
consequences.
Right, yep, then tickets will ensue, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was just gonna say, so all that information will be readily available for the township, for the board.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, motion and seconded. Roll call, please, Mr. Batchel.
Member Tominello?
Yes.
Member Batcha, yes. Member McDougal?
Yes.
Member Garvin?
Yes.
Chairman Murray?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. And our second item, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The second item is a request for recommendation to the Board of Trustees for a new tavern license at Benvenuto, located at 539 Jefferson, Harrison Township, Michigan. You'll recall, I don't know if it was several years ago or a couple years ago, we approved the expansion of the parking lot out there, so they have made some improvements out there to parking versus going the opposite direction. You know, based on that, we really have no objections to the tavern license.
Okay, so again, we'll be making a recommendation to the township board to allow Benvenuto a liquor license. May I have a motion, please?
I have a question for the planner.
Okay.
Just, Mr. Maher, tavern license, is that beer and wine, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to recommend to the Board of Trustees to approve, or accept the approval of the new tavern license for the applicant for property in question located at 39539 Jefferson, Harrison Township, Michigan, 48045.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll
Batchel.
support that.
And Mr. McDougal, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, please, Mr. Batchel.
Member Batcha, yes. Member McDougal?
Yes.
Member Tominello?
Yes.
Member Garvin?
Yes.
Chairman Murray?
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Comments from the floor? Oh,
I was actually staying quiet, however, I was the attorney on the tavern license.
Oh,
so
okay.
Thank you for approving
well,
it.
hi, how are you? Thanks for coming.
It was going so
You're
well, I
good to
didn't want
go.
to mess anything up.
Well, you're good to go to the township.
You wanted to debate the decision?
No, have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, comments from the floor, anyone? It's an open comment. Respectful and
Absolutely.
no swear words.
My
3
name is Dan
minutes.
Hogan. I live at 27140 Beamer. Try not to get emotional. I want to thank the commission for your time to read our emails, the time to listen to our concerns, and the time to do the research. I've lived there a very long time. We love our neighborhood, and the last thing we needed is some big business coming in and completely ruining that. We believe in the downtown development to a degree. We didn't think a gas station would help it ever, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. Anyone else? Okay, our next meeting is July 16th, 2015. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Mr. McDougall?
Support?
Support, Mr. Tominello. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is this the new rec?
Motion carries, 7:30.
Holy cow, we were all
Thank you. That's how it should, that's how it should be.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
I think
And
you,
I wanted to tell Mr. Hogan, you know, we didn't do this to make the residents happy, we're just following the rules. Just following the book. All right.
No, 'cause I was almost thinking that I thought it might be a little risky. For me to say no. No, I was almost thinking that we would make the motion to table, but then add the constraint that they do not satisfy next month, then we will. But I thought that might get a little risky.
Yeah.
We can think whatever we want for next month, right? Yeah. But, no, I was with you too, that